late Thursday evening, and I am just sitting in my shop while it's really quiet. I think it's a little echo in here, but it's dark outside. It's quiet. And I'm just going to make a few pockets, and I'm going to do as I promised and just show you how I kind of pre-prep these journal cards that actually come in the kit. And if I got enough time, I will pre-prep these two tags for you. But right this minute, I've just done a little, I've taken one of these elements here, and I actually cut it down, and I made a pocket, just a simple pocket. This pocket's not going to be a deep pocket. It's going to be a small pocket, kind of a flat pocket. It'll hold maybe one tag. And the reason I'm going to some flatter items is because our book's already getting thick. We've only done 3 or 4 of our projects so far, and the book is already starting to get really thick, so I'm already looking at a 3-inch, 3.5-inch spine on this particular journal. But I wanted to go over some more of the items, just give you just some easy, simple tips. This is not anything probably that most of you don't already know, but there are a few beginners out there, and a few people just started watching my videos, so I'm just kind of giving you a little journey through a day with NanaK, I guess is a way to put it. I was preparing myself to be able to just quickly finish up my journal. We're probably going to finish this journal a whole lot faster than I thought, but it really depends on how much time I have to make all these videos. So we're going to start with that today. I think I need to do maybe one more element on top of this little girl here. I'm looking over here to my left. As I told you guys, I have a pile of items over here to work with. And naturally, when I really need something, I can't get my hands right on it. But what I was looking were these. I got these probably 8, 9 years ago at Michael's. Michael's had just about every color you can imagine, and I just got them, just purchased them just to see. But at that time, I was making a few Christmas ornaments, and I just didn't use them all up. I used a lot of them, but I didn't use them all up. So these are leftovers, and they're old, so I can't tell you that you could ever even get anything like this again. But it's a nice little bling element to put on something, especially something that you really just don't want to do a whole lot more decorating to, for 2 reasons. One reason being, well, I like it down here in this corner. For one reason, that you just don't want to keep making the thickness of the book keep growing. I want to keep this journal around a 3-inch spine if it's possible. So we're going to start working for the next few days on just really fast, easy things to go in the journal. It'll be things like belly bands, flat pockets. We might even do another couple of window pockets, but there'll be a flat window pocket. They won't be one that flips out and turns out like the other ones that we've already done. I'm going to do one more thing here, and that's just because I just can't help myself. I want a butterfly. Little gnome in a garden should have butterflies surrounding her. So that's what I'm going with. I don't like that one. I really want a lavender or a purple, but I don't want a great big one. And this is an issue I ran in earlier today, just scrambling through my butterfly. So I really need to find me, oh, that is a pretty butterfly right there. I really need to find me a little tray to put my little elements like this in, so that I can kind of spread them out and not scramble through my bags. But I do use a lot of these little zip bags. You get them at Walmart, the little 4x6 bags. I do maintain a lot of these. I have little teeny hangers that I'll punch a hole in these, and then I have a little spiral rack that these hang on. So I have a lot of my clip art done that way, so that I can just go grab it off that spinner rack when I think I'm going to come in here and need some kind of mini cutouts. Like I say, I have thousands and thousands and thousands, and that's no joke, pieces of already pre-cut clip art that I have been cutting on for quite a while. Like I said earlier, this year I was sick for about 6 months, and 5 months. First 5 months of the year, starting January 28th to about May 28th. I was a pretty sick lady. And I'm feeling so much better. Okay, we're going to put the little butterfly in this corner. And I think that's all I'm going to do to this pocket. We're going to set it aside. and start on something else. Okay, let's start on another gnome, and this time we want to do a card. So I need to find a backing for it. I got to make sure I don't keep getting my head in. Okay, this is another piece of 110 cardstock, printed on one side. We're going to take the piece here, and we're going to glue it down to this. Now you can really, in just a few minutes time, set your timer for about 10, 15, 20 minutes and just go to town making these and see how far you get. Now, just because I've already got these pre-cut a certain size, which I think is 4 or 5, you won't need that many probably in your journal, and I'm not sure you might, but they are very, very colorful, and if you need them in other areas, other journals you're doing, that would be fine. But prepping them is something that you're going to go through with every journal. So if you can get some papers and things that are kind of a neutral looking paper that you can actually make these cards in advance, it would sure save you a lot of time whenever you exchange journal packages or kits. I'm probably not teaching a whole lot of anything new for some people, but again, really what my goal here is to show people that there is a lot of process, a lot of prepping work. It's not a matter of just sitting down and putting a journal together if you don't, I mean, unless you want to just buy all this stuff. And I'm sure if you go on Etsy and you looked hard enough, you could buy every single journal card done and element and everything else you wanted, but it would be one expensive journal by the time you got through. So prepping is a necessary, I'm not going to say evil because it's fun to get in here and do it. And I am going to keep one card, this one card, the full size. I think I'm right now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 4. Well, this is a little over 5, so I could cut a little bit off this one, and we probably, no, I'm not because of the gold corners. I'm not cutting any off. This is just going to be a large card, and I don't know where we'll use it in the journal, but I will probably find a place. Maybe somewhere in the centerfold. I might do a long, narrow pocket and just stick this down in it. Okay? Now it's pre-prepped. This is what I call pre-prepped. I have the option at this point of just setting it aside, which I think that's what I'm going to do for this video. I've only got 7 minutes so far, so I'm going to see how many of these that I can put together real quick. Okay? Take this one. And now again, like I said, you don't have to keep them this size. But for the sake of this video, while I'm just seeing how many of these we're going to put together in just a few minutes before we start decorating them with other stuff. And these are so, already got so much intricate clip art on them and so much vivid color. I don't know, there's a whole lot more you need to do except put a little bit of lace on it and a few pieces of bling and some rhinestones maybe, or some buttons. Just some little odds and ends, not a lot. But anyway, what I was trying to say about this is even though we're actually putting together or pre-prepping them at this size, once we get them done, and let's move this out a little harder, once we get these done, if we want to cut them down a different size, we can. If we want to cut them and make a small tag out of them, that's a probability that you can do. But getting the first step done by putting the backing on it so that you get some firmness, and see that cut there is already really whacked out, so I am going to have to come over here with my blade, and I just don't like crooked stuff, and I don't think it was very professional if I was going to sell products in this journal. So I'm going to go in here and hopefully cut that little bit of flaw that I seem to have so easily made. And I've got a little bit of a bump here. And I showed you on an earlier video, the way I clear those out is I'll lay just flat across my scissors and clip. And usually you can get a straight line that way. That's laying the card right flat against that scissor blade. And then just clipping. Don't move it either way or you'll clip it crooked again. Alright, I've got just a tiny bit off this one too. This one's a little bit off here. So we're going to do the same thing again. Just let's straighten it out. NanaK being a particular person right now. But if I do it now, I don't have to do it later. Another reason pre-prepping is really nice. Because if you get it done now, things are smoother later. Okay, I got a bump there that I don't like. And if I can't get it good with the scissors, I did. You can also use the sanding block that I showed you how I use. And we've got a little bit of, well, I really did cut that out really quickly with my scissors earlier. How I did that. Like I say, I'm getting kind of tired and a long day. It's just so nice to finally get my video equipment working somewhat well. It's still having a little struggle with, I think it's our internet connection. We got a really cloudy day. I don't know if that makes any difference or not. I know it does with my phone sometimes. But we just had a little bit of connection problems since the storm come through. Okay, that one is actually ready to put the ink on. And you really don't even have to do the ink at this point, because if you do one of the decorative corners or a rounded corner or whatever you do, you're going to have to re-ink anyway. But I'm going to go ahead for my sake and just go ahead and do the majority of that inking done. Okay, let's do something a little different with this little guy. This is another little, I don't think so. I think that's the same one I done the other tag on, so I'm not going to do that. I was going to change him to a tag, but we'll keep him. I think what we'll do with him is make another pocket, maybe. Okay, well, let's just go on gluing down. We'll make that decision as we go. I think I'm going to cut him down some. I don't believe I want him quite this big. This was the very first gnome that I actually did in this kit. And I really wish in my main pages that I had done more gnomes, but however, because they're not so many gnomes done in the actual general pages, you can add gnomes or butterflies or rabbits or whatever you want to the pages of this particular journal. I think there's like maybe 4 in the main pages of gnomes, and the rest are just general flower designs like these. That's what most of the rest of the journal's about, if you haven't seen it. Okay, let's cut this one out. I didn't work that well because I see an air bubble right there, or something else got underneath my card. I'm going to cut that off anyway, so no big deal. I think what I would like to do is make this little guy into a long, narrow pocket. So I have to make the decision of how wide I want it. My tags are usually, my really long tags are usually 3.5 inches wide. I don't have one specifically prepared, I don't think. Let me look. I should have one of my long tags done. Yeah, there's one of my big tags. Okay, so we can actually measure it here, and I'm right, it's 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 by 6. So I want to make him into a long narrow tag to hold one of our, pocket to hold one of our long tags. So the tag is 3. So we're going to want to make this, cut this, not a whole lot off of it. Okay, so I'm going to move it over. I'm going to keep it measured at this line so I can keep it straight when I'm cutting. And I'm probably only going to cut maybe 1/4 of an inch off this side here, off this particular side. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it around here and do about the same, with maybe 1/4 of an inch. So right there would be another 1/4 of an inch cut off this. Okay. Now, what we need to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't want it quite that tall because the pocket's only 6 and you want a little more sticking out. Well, no, that's a good amount, but we're still going to cut a little bit off of this top. And then we're going to do our thumb grab in it, or a thumb notch. I don't know what most people are calling that thing, but I know that it just shows people there's something in the pocket. Okay, I did cut 1/4 of an inch off the top. Measure it one more time, see how that looks. Yeah, I hope we didn't cut it too narrow. And you know what? If we did, we can always cut the tag down a little narrower. All right. Then we're going to put it here and get our center, which is going to be right about here. That's the center right about there. Take our trusty little punch here. And remember, we're just pre-prepping. These cards and pockets will be done differently as we go along. I'm not cutting corners yet or any of that. I'm just making pre-preps for this book coming up, for those signatures that we've already done. Just a lot of little quick, flat things here. Okay? Okay, so there's a pocket ready to finish up in the journal somewhere. Decorate. Alright, now what I want is a belly band. I want to do a sideways belly band with one of these. That's if we got one that'll work as a belly band. Okay, this one might. Okay. Yeah, let's look at that. That gives me 2 cents, and I could put something in, some kind of something in the center. But before I do, I want to make sure I have something that can go in the center. No, I don't like that one. Let's see about this one. Yeah, I believe I like that a lot better. Okay. This is going to be our belly band here, right? And if you're wondering what I'm reaching up doing, I'm measuring the book to make sure, and that's perfect. It's a little wider than I normally do a belly band. So I'm going to refold it a little bit. And because I have beautiful graphics on the other side of this, I wouldn't normally say that's important. You could leave it folded like this, but I don't want to lose that extra graphics. So I'm going to actually cut this, and then I'm going to put a backing on it. Matter of preference again. This is a matter of preference, but I can always use the clip art. And I don't like to waste it if I don't have to, because see, I've got another belly band there. Another, maybe the other signature needs a belly band. All right, so, and the backing of this doesn't have to be one of your printed pieces. That's strictly up to you. I have them done, and I'm just going to go ahead and use them because I just have them done, and I'm going to use them. No specific reason. You really could just take a white piece of 110-pound cardstock to make this belly band. But we're making a sideways belly band with this one. Okay. Gonna glue down. Okay. I'll smooth it. I press really hard sometimes. I did on that one, and really got a good tight weld on that paper. I'm really thinking, don't need it any thicker. This one doesn't have to be thick, like the tags. Okay. Simple enough. Okay. That's our belly band, and we can decorate it up later. Same thing, just color the edges a little. we're 19 minutes into the video. There's the belly band utilizing this. Okay, this one here is a nice design. We can cut in half this way. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to cut this one in half. Right there. Okay. Okay, for this one, we're going to set this aside a second. This one, we're going to have to put a backing on. So again, it doesn't have to be a printed background, like I said, because this is going to be a pocket. You're not going to see much of the back except when you pull your thumb, pull forward a second to put a tag in. You might see a little bit up at the top. So like I say, this could be another white backing if you wanted it to be, but let's just go ahead and use what we got. That's the idea when you're starting to try to finish up your journal. You want to really start using up everything you've got printed. I don't like to have a lot of stuff hanging around. But what I will do probably at some point in time, as we grow, we will start having maybe drawings of people who are watching our videos, if we have them, and have a name drawing, and maybe I'll send you a little grab bag of some of this extra ephemera and clip art that maybe we have left over in some of these kits. So who knows what we might get to do as we grow. I am soon going to be retiring from my regular job, or my job that I've had for many years now. I run a motel, and I'm getting really tired. Just the owner's tired and doesn't realize things that need to be done. And when COVID crisis hit us, of course, our business fell off. It's fallen off really bad, the worst I've ever seen it. And I can't seem to build it back up because we need so many repairs done. It's just a lot, and I am just tired. And my maintenance man's getting to be a lot older person, and don't think he's feeling that well. I think it takes him, oh my goodness, 3 times longer to do general maintenance than it used to do. So that's also an issue. Can't find housekeepers. You can't find help. So yeah, I'm about ready to retire and make this my full-time hobby. I don't think it'll ever be a full-time job, but I'm going to try. Okay, we've got this next pocket kind of prepped and ready to go. Put that in our stack. We've got this one here, and I have an idea of what I want to do with this one. I want to fold this one again, just because I can. I'm going to fold it again, like this, and I want to cut it again down the middle. And I'm going to make 2 little mini pockets. Not sure how we'll use them, but I'm sure we'll find a use for them. Okay, down the center, like this. I can see these being stacked this way or stacked this way in the book, in your book. All right, let's get a backing on that. Something bright to do it in pretty. Now again, you don't have to have a colored backing, but I have this ready to go. So doesn't look like a pocket much right this second because it is so small, but once I put that thumb notch in, it'll be obvious that that's what it is. I have this annoying little fruit fly flying all around. He's about to drive me crazy. He won't get out of my face. If you see me swinging my hands around, I'm shooing him off. That time of year. My neighbors have all kinds of animals in a pen. I live in the country. And I have a new neighbor. Not real new, but kind of new. New to us because we were some of the first people to ever live in this area. And he's got goats, chickens, turkeys, peacocks, cows, pigs, and sheep. Oh, they make a racket. And I think they draw these little flies in around my area. And I don't like flies. Don't like snakes either. You heard that song? I don't like flies. Don't like snakes. There's a song. Something similar to that. Oh, I'm telling the age on her. Alright, so I've got it cut. Now, again, I need to find my center. Like I say, guys, you see this board is like, this is like one of my major tools in a day's time. I cannot live without my board. Center my notch. Cut. There's that pocket. Okay. My notch mark here. All right. Move this baby up. Okay, so that one's pre-prepped. Ink's getting a little dry on this thing. This one's got a lot of room to actually do some bling and things too, so that's kind of a nice one. Okay, so what I'm thinking is stacking these like this on one of the pages. So that's what my general idea is. Now that's what I do. I mean, I know this seems like it's tedious and useless, but this is what I do in a day, trying to figure out how to utilize what I have. Okay, I don't know if I want to. I'm going to trim this and make two. I'm going to make two pockets out of the. I mean, two tags out of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and figure it. This one's going to be. I'm going to kind of cut the design at that level right there, because that looks like the cleanest place that I can actually cut this particular piece off. Yep, and still get a nice clean looking card on the outside. So, oh, now let's see, I'm about to make a goof because this slid, and you got to make sure you stay on that line when you're measuring on this line. This line is your way of keeping it straight, and then you cut it on this one. Okay, so now there's one tag, and there's two tags, and you can either do a tag this way or this way. Or we could actually even make a pocket out of this one. And I think that's what I'm going to do. This one I'm going to make a small pocket. This one I'm going to make a tag. Okay? I don't know what I did. I don't want to get my head in. Okay, let's do a pretty lacy mint on the back of this one. And like I said, nothing fancy going on here, just general pre-prepping to get ready to embellish these beautiful cards and pockets that you're making for your journal. But this pre-prepping is absolutely necessary if you're going to be a journaler or a paper artist. This is just part of the process. Okay? Yep, part of the process. And I know I'm out of, I hate it when I do that, but when I cut, I really have a hard time cutting away from my head. I can get this bulk out of my way, and I can sure cut a whole lot better so that you can see me cutting like you really care to see me cutting. Okay, all right, there's the card. And there's a real dark line there, so it might be where the two pages were joined and I didn't cut it off well. So I am going to level this off, come in with my trusty ruler and cut off a little bit of that discoloration. And you can't see it on the camera, I know, but I saw it. See, now that looks better to me. Nice even tone all the way around my edges. That's what I'm after. Okay, again, I'm going to ink up my sides. Ink it up. And you know, the great thing about this is if you watch this video and then later on when you see me actually doing projects and I'm using these, you'll get better ideas of how these got prepped, and you'll know how they got to be at least to that level. So we're going to make a pocket out of this. Same thing, I don't have to use a color sheet, but I'm going to. 110-pound cardstock. We're going to put the image on that first. Press the two pieces of paper together to make them stronger and give them a tight bond. Again, I love the Barely Art glue. I get a really good tight bond with it. I can't really express that enough. And in all fairness, I did not use for very long the art glitter glue, I think is what it's called. So I'm not making any slurs against art glitter glue because I'm not that familiar with it. When I found the Barely Art glue and I liked it, that's kind of just what I've gone with. So I'm not going to tell you in comparison to art glitter glue, Barely Art glue is any better, because my understanding is the art glitter glue is very good. The only thing I do know that why I chose Barely Art glue to try first is because it was the dead of winter when I needed some glue, because I had run out of what I was using. Like I said, I told you I discovered in another video, I discovered that my double-sided tape was not holding my older journals. And as you can already see, you see how much time goes into doing what I'm doing. And you're using that tape around these, and like I've got at least 5 journals I'm having to rework because the tape over the last year and a half has let go. And you know, if you're selling a journal for $300-400 to somebody, and yes, I do have some that high, but even at $70 or $80, you don't want your journal to fall apart. So of course, let's get back to why I said that. I was looking some glue because I was really disgusted with my double-sided tape, and I couldn't get Barely Art. I couldn't get that art glitter glue. For some reason, they don't ship it in the winter. I guess it breaks down. Something, the glue freezes something. I think I read somewhere where Barely Art glue does not freeze. So they sent me some. I don't remember. Amazon was kind enough to, I think I wrote Amazon. Anyway, I got a sample first from somewhere, and I liked it. It was only in a little small bottle. Somebody sent me a sample of theirs, and I liked it, so I went ahead and ordered some, like I said, in the dead of winter, and they shipped it. So that's really how I ended up starting to use that instead of art glitter glue, because I would have used art glitter glue because that's what all the other people were using on these videos. So anyway, I'm trying to give Barely Art glue a chance because they're good. All right, I made a pocket. I pre-prepped that pocket. It's ready to go. We've only got 2 more to go, guys. So what are we going to do here? Are we going to do double pockets again? Yep, I think we're going to do double pockets on this one too, and do another double pocket in maybe the other journal. Okay, see, I can cut that one, yeah, and I can get twin pockets to go. I'll make a centerfold here. This is perfect to do perhaps a centerfold. So let's see how this turns out. And I think we're finding that we're not even, okay, that's a straight line. See, I've ended up going right back to my blade and my trusty ruler. I don't know why, I just get better cuttings this way. And I hope I did not do what I just think I just did. And I did. Oh man, cut it a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. It is a little bit. We can cut it down to 2.5 and I'll still be safe. Thank you, goodness. Thank you, Lord, that it wasn't a disaster. So let's cut it down to 2.5, the 2.5 mark. So I'm gonna move this down here. This is at the half mark. So I can cut it right here on this line. And that probably indicates to me that my blade is getting dull since it ripped. But I'm going to be safe on this one and start from the center this way so that I don't rip that edge again. Then I'll just turn my blade over and cut backwards this way. Alright, so that solved that little bit of snag I was getting. But now we've got to do the same thing with this one. We're going to work this one down to, well, I got a snag on it from cutting it here too. We're going to put this one again at the halfway mark this way. And we're going to put the blade back, the ruler back over and do the same kind of cut. Middle way one way and middle way the other way. And again, I cannot express how, please just be really careful when you're doing the blade because, like I said, this thing does not know the difference between paper and flesh and it will really cut you. Alright, so now that's the two bases. Like I said, we're going to do a twin. We're going to do twin pockets. So, again, I'm just going to use the same background here on this one. And we're going to glue them and lay them down and cut them. So let's get the base done first. Okay. I've got a little silent here, haven't I? You'll definitely fall asleep now. I'm just concentrating. I'm just sitting here thinking, well, how am I going to name this video? Because I'm going to do it in two parts. What we're working on now is part 1, where we're actually just pre-prepping. And then part 2 will be actually putting embellishments on them. So I think what we're going to call this video is going to be Simple Pockets and Cards Part 1, because this is really just, there's that little lure of a fly. Maybe he's after a little bit of light. Maybe that's what it is. Okay, let's cut the excess bulk off. It's so much easier to cut if you don't have bulk. And I'm going to have to put my glasses on. Again, I'm sorry, people. I don't know why I keep taking them off, because I know I need them on my face. Okay. And for some reason, one tag looks a little larger than the other, but that's okay. We're going to adjust that. We'll adjust that. But it's not just my eyes playing tricks on me. Okay. Maybe once we cut it out, we can tell for sure if we got one larger than the other. I want these exact twins, so we're going to have to trim it and fix it. Even when we decorate it, I think we're going to try to embellish them exactly the same and make these like inside of a centerfold. I've got a little bit of a line right there I need to cut. Not much, but it's enough to, I just think, I can just see it where I didn't trim well enough. Okay, we're going to put it like that. There you go. All right, let's see if they are the same. Well, they are the same. See, my eyes were just playing tricks on me. Isn't that strange? It sure did look like there's a little bit of difference. Okay, these two pockets, we need to get our thumb notches in them. All right, And this is easy because they are both 4 inches wide. Get them level and just put it right here. Make sure this one's 4. Yep. Put the thumb notch right there. Okay, I want to try to make sure the depth is about the same. So I'm going to cut this piece out like this and hopefully keep this. Then I'm going to lay this right here like this. And that's just me being finicky, but I want them both, like I say, I want these to be absolute twins if I can make them close as I can make them. So that gives me a borderline where to cut it. So I need to center it. And I don't know if any of y'all know, but you got most of your little things have this here. That's a good way to help you center it if you don't know how to center these. Okay, we should have twins. Oh, we do. We do. How wonderful. Okay, we'll ink these little babies up. I think I can really see these fancied up with that beautiful little intricate corner cutter I have that makes that beautiful little punch outs inside the corners. I can really see this, and then I believe I would put some pearl embellishments on this. Flat back pearl, it's going to be pretty. In the next few days, I'm really going to have to get myself together making some embellishments, like some dingle-dangles and some hidden paper clips and things like that. Okay, guess what, guys? We're on our last one here. And what kind of paper we got over here? Maybe we haven't used. I got to quit putting my head in the camera. I like this one. I have not used this for these. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make this card, I think, full size. Because we ended up not doing too many of the full size. I don't think we did but one. So this will be number 2. This is the kind of card that would go under that belly band because the belly band covers the whole width of the page. And you may have to make the card just a tiny bit smaller since the belly band was exactly this. No, the belly band was this way. So no, we're good on this one. I'm talking out of turn on that one because, yeah, the belly band was cut out of this length. So we're going to be fine using this inside of one of the belly bands, on one of the belly band pages. Smooth it out. Get all that excess loose. I got a lot of glue right there on that one. But it sure does give you a nice smooth finish when you use this. I'm telling you guys, just a simple paint scraper. Make sure it's kind of not got a real sharp point. And like I said, if you want to use one and you're afraid it's going to cut your paper, put your piece of masking tape right on here on this end, and you got one of the best things to smooth out your not ink, excuse me, your glue. I'm telling you. That was an old newspaper trick where we used to smooth out the wax. When we used to have to actually, in the olden days, for a time that most of you young people don't know nothing about, when we actually had to take grid paper and lay out the whole newspaper with wax. All the advertisements were done in the graphic art department and cut on paper. That's where I first became a paper artist, was as a graphic artist in a newspaper. Love the work. I've always loved art. And we had to wax those down and make sure they weren't going to come off before they went to the cameras so they could go in the newspaper. And this was a daily routine for us. Okay, there is our card. I got a little bit of white showing here I don't like. I'm going to trim that off a little without cutting the card. Okay. I can't seem to get it off, so guess what? Go to my trusty little emery board. It sands on. Go ahead and sands it really smooth for me. sanded it right off. Guys, that's another little tool. If you're going to be a paper artist, you really need to get you a whole pack of little nice emery boards to go right here on your desk, because that really smooths them out. And then again, if you really love that vintagey look and you want to, like, really rough these sides up like this, you really get this really cute rough edge. And if you're using the photo, I think it's called Vintage Photo Distress ink, it really starts taking on a really antique look with these extra rough edges. So, emery boards, another thing you don't want to be without. Now, like I say, this card I'm going to leave it the full size for right now. Doesn't mean that later on we can't cut it down. And I'm going to tell you something else. So, another thing you can actually really do with this, and I don't have mine that I've done right handy, but you could also turn this into a tag. You would want to thicken it up one more layer so you get a good strong tag. But I did one earlier, and I actually took and cut at this gold ring, and then around this flower here, and that gold ring, and then around that flower, and I actually made a tag using the oval, and it really turned out really cute. If I wish I had it, I wish I had to put my hands right on it, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe I've already put it in one of the books. So you'll get to see it eventually if you keep watching my channel, and please do subscribe. I've had a few subscribers just almost instantaneously when I started this channel. So thanks to you guys who were kind enough to go ahead and subscribe. And thanks to all you who keep coming back. And thanks to my new people tonight. I really appreciate you. Alright, like I say, let me see how many we got pre-prepped. And we've done 46 minutes. So it's 1, 2, oh, I did have another full size, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got 11 or 12 of these done. Oh, yeah, that one. 12 of these done in like maybe 35, 40 minutes, something like that. So, anyway, that's where we are tonight. Now, between those and all this all these tags I've pre-prepped, we've got a lot of stuff to start working with. So, what we'll do next is we will spend our next part 2 video, and we'll see just how many of these we can get embellished and decide where at in our 2 signatures. We're going to start putting them. There's our 2 signatures. So this is NanaK on Thursday, June 22nd, signing off again. And this time for the final time for the night. If you have any questions about this video or any others that we've done in the last few days, you can email us at thealteredbooknook@gmail.com. If you actually are interested in purchasing our digital kit or any other of our kits, matter of fact, any of our kits that are on Etsy site you can follow along with these videos and use those. They just look different, but the techniques are the same. You can email us or message us if you have an issue or problem or question on my Etsy shop, The Altered Book Nook, Etsy. And just message me there. Both of these sites ping me on my cell phone, so I usually will answer within very, very short amount of time. So I want you to have a really wonderful evening. Make sure you spend a little bit of time with family. Family's very important. And I hope you have a beautiful wake up in the morning. Get a cup of coffee and think about me. It's NanaK signing off. Have a blessed